evening and welcome to Wednesday's All Levels Yoga. I hope you're feeling okay this evening. I feel absolutely shattered, but after doing even just, I think it was about 10 minutes before at home of some of this routine, I was so energised. So I just hope that you guys feel the same benefit after today that I definitely will be. So we're working the legs a bit again, like we have done on Monday, but also a little bit higher up into the fire centre. So it is all about the fire, but you will hopefully feel really fiery and motivated and energised at the end of it. It's just really setting in, I think, some lethargy, some fatigue. It's been going on a little while now, hasn't it? And we just need to keep that fire going just a little. So yeah, we can keep going. So we're going to start today with a butterfly supine position. So laying down with the soles of the feet together. You don't have to be really close into your bum. You can have them much further out. Just take it easy on the hips and just laying yourself down. As always, have lots of comfy cushions by you. You can pad under the legs if you need. And if this doesn't suit you today, then please just lay either with the feet wide, knees together, or you can just lay flat. Just listen to your body and how your body wants to lay today. The only reason we're in this nice butterfly is just to get into the hips a little bit before we start moving. And then the hands can be on the belly, they can be by the side. Just bring the shoulders away from the ears wherever you are. Like I say, it's not a deep inner thigh stretch yet. You haven't got your feet really close to your bum, unless that's what you want to do. It's just a starting position. It can create an arch in the back. So my lower back is lifted off the floor. So if you do have issues with the lower back and this is pinching, please don't do it. Just flip it over so that your feet are out and your knees are in. And that's going to give you a lot more space in your lower back. Listen to your bodies. As always, taking it easy at your own pace. Moving away from pain. Never want any pain. Challenging is fine, but definitely no pain. And hopefully you'll know by now how you can drop your knees or move away from postures if you need to. So start settling down into your breath. Conscious breathing here. So thinking about the breath. Feeling the breath. Where it is. How deep it is. And please move the feet further away from the bum if all you're doing as you're breathing is feeling tension in the lower back and the hips. Just take it at your own pace. Whilst we're in this butterfly, you are going to do some really deep 3-part breathing if you feel like that today. So the first part, as always, when you're ready, is to really fill those bellies like they're lovely big Buddha bellies. So as you inhale, it's almost like you're magnetising your shoulders to the floor. So the movement only comes from that lower belly, from all of the belly, but we're not lifting the chest. So as you inhale, you sink the shoulders down and you allow the lower part of the body to breathe. As deeply or as lightly as you want to go. Trying not to introduce tension anywhere else in the body. The breath is causing tension and you're just breathing a little too deeply. So just go as deeply as you can whilst keeping the rest of the body as relaxed as you can. Bringing that breath deep into the belly and then washing it away. And when you're ready, you can start to introduce the second part. So filling the belly deeply. When you've gone as far as you want, then you can expand a little further into the ribs. And then release. So filling the belly, then up into the ribs. Doing 2 or 3 more of these. Trying to keep the shoulders, the arms relaxed, the feet and the legs, everything else is nice and chilled out. Last one here. And then finally bringing the breath up into the throat. So feel the belly, the side ribs, and then the collarbone. And release. Really big breath, filling the belly, the ribs, and the throat. And release. If it makes you dizzy, please stop doing it. And just be careful that you're not introducing tension into those shoulders. And returning your breath back to normal. Notice what normal is to you now, compared to what it was at the start. Keeping the thoughts positive. And then gently helping the legs in if they're in butterfly. Maybe now take the feet a little wider and just let those knees fall in one way and then the other, getting nice inward rotation on the hip. Taking it easy if you've not done yoga for a little while. And then bringing your knees into your chest, relax the shoulders and just enjoy being here. Doing what feels good in your body, circling the ankles, maybe flexing the toes. You can maybe circle the knees a little. Just play around here for a breath or two. And then we're going to cross the right leg over the left. And then we're just going to gently hold on below the knee joint, or you can hold on underneath the thighs as we've really squeezed those inner thighs together to get the hips on in that inward rotation, and then gently bring the knees in. If that's too much, you can take the cross and just keep the feet on the floor. It's just a leg cross, but when we bring those knees into the chest, just gets a little deeper into those hips. Big breath. So we're still working the 3 lower chakras, the red, orange, the yellow, the fire, the grounding, creativity, sexuality, motivation. Just getting some space in there. And then changing the cross on the legs. And then it should, well, it may feel, not should feel, it may feel completely different on one side. Hopefully it doesn't. It means you're lovely and balanced. But more often than not, we have our stronger side, and one side will feel completely different to the other. Relax the shoulders. I seem to be talking really quietly today. I hope you can hear me. Last breath here. And then releasing your feet down. Okay, we're going to come into our back bend, into a bridge. So take it easy. If your back feels a little bit sore, you can always place a couple of cushions between the thighs and then really squeeze on those to support your back. And before we even start to lift, let's tuck the bum under. So we're not arching the back, we're really pushing the waist down into the mat. And then from here, let's place the hands down. I know that a lot of teachers tend to really bring the feet as close to the bottom as you can. If that's what you want to do, then that's absolutely fine, but it does put a bit of strain on the knees. As long as the knees are roughly hip distance wide, and then the feet are roughly the same, you'll be fine. Really press the shoulders down now. Tilt the pelvis, pushing the waist down, start to come up into your bridge. Remember, it's your first back bend, so just notice how it feels. Once you're up in your bridge, try and take the shoulders down and the head up to the back of the room a little, so you're getting your ears and your shoulder gap a little bit wider, and giving a little bit of space between the chin and the chest, just keeping it safe. Notice if you've rolled onto the outer part of the foot or the inner part of the foot. Try and keep it nice and stable on the whole foot. Shoulders pushing down, you can still tuck the bum under, that will give you a little more lift if you wish. Maybe you want to push into the feet and take the knees away from you, pushing them away to the wall. So that will give you a little more lift as well, if that's what you're looking for. And then from here, you can bring your hands to gently rest on your hips. So you can stay here. If it's sore, you can lower yourself down, and you can prop under with cushions. Or if you want a little bit more, start to ground your right foot down. Your hands are on your hips so that you don't let your left hip drop as you lift your right leg off. So you're really trying to keep that left hip in line with the right. Watch that the shoulders haven't hunched up, and all we're going to do is bring the leg up and then take it in line with the other knee. And 9, and 8, and 7, and 6. I can count today. 5. I should have said that, should I? 4, and 3. Squeeze the glutes. 2. And 1, and take that foot down. If you want to have a rest here, you can, or you can stay in your bridge and readjust. Again, bringing the shoulders down, getting the space at the back of the neck without tucking your chin down. Okay, hands on the hips if you need to do that. If you're quite happy that your hips will stay level, then great. Activate your left glute, push the left foot into the floor, but also activating the right glute to stop it from falling, and bring that right leg up. And then lift, and lower, and lift, and lower, and 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, that's my hip clicking, 3, don't know if you can hear that, 2, and 1, and release. You can release down, or you can just take that final lift into your bridge, pushing into the feet, squeezing the butt, big breath, and as you release slowly now, rolling from the upper back all the way down. Take the feet a little wider and just let those knees rock into the centre. Just starting to work a little bit of space into that lower back that's being compressed a little. Okay. Now gently hug your knees in. This is now taking you into a forward fold. You've been in your back bend, but hopefully it feels quite nice. Okay, so just going to work the core a little now. We've worked our backs. So pushing the waist down. So when I push my waist down, you can see that my bum starts to lift. So just pushing it down, firmly engaging the core. So my waist is pushing into the floor. It creates a little bit of bum lift, and my core muscles are pulling it in as I take my knees over my hips. I'm working hard here to keep the knees over the hips because I'm pushing so strongly into the ground and activating my core muscles and trying not to bring it all into my chin and my shoulders. I'm trying to keep the upper part of my body as relaxed as I can as I push my waist down. And you can stay with this. If it's too much, you can bring the knees back, or you can start with your toe taps, but do not let that lower back lift off the floor. Remember, we have a strap here sometimes, and you have to imagine you've got something pushing into the mat below you. And if you're not feeling this, you have to push down harder, because you must have a core of absolute steel. If you're not feeling just the tiniest little burn in that core, don't let that core go. Keep the waist pushing down. Keep it going. And 4, 3, push the waist down, 2, and 1. And bring those knees in. Big breath. Fill the body with oxygen. Keep those lungs healthy. Okay, let's do our little bum lifts now. So legs are coming up. If your hamstrings are tight, of course, you can bend your legs. Keep those toes flexing firmly towards your face. We're just going to do our bum lift. So just as we did with our toe taps, even though your lower back may well be on the floor now, because of the angle of your legs, you still have to push the lower back in to get the lift. So I'm lifting my heels to the ceiling by pushing the lower back down. I'm not pushing my shoulders or my head or my arms. I'm only using my core muscles and pushing my waist down, and I'm not rocking my feet backwards and forwards. So let's do this for 10, 9. Big exhale as you lift. I said I could count, and I've lost count already. Let's do another 5, 4, lift, try not to rock. I've lost count again, Jesus Christ, last one. And hug the knees in. Okay, so you can do another 10 of those, or we're going to take the heels away. And it's a smaller move, and you have to now contract the core even harder to push the waist down, because when their feet are out, it's easy to take the path of least resistance. The body just wants to arch the lower back. So we have to push the waist down without pushing the head down, without tensing the chin, without tensing the shoulders. And then, even though it's engaged, you have to engage it even more to try and flick the heels away from you. It's really tough. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, just pushing the waist down. 2, 1, and relax. It's definitely harder when you have those knees out. Okay, let's take a twist. Arms nice and wide. Let's drop those legs over to the left. Oh, nice back crack then. And take the gaze over to the right. And just relax here in your twist. You've worked the front of the body, you've worked the back of the body. So now let's just enjoy the twist. Big breaths into your belly. Let the shoulders go. Definitely let the neck go a little more. And then bring it back to centre. And taking it the other way. You don't have to turn your head. You can look straight ahead. But if you have dropped your head over, just start to let the neck go, the jaw, the teeth. And then you might find the shoulders will let go a little more. Then your spine will let go, then your hips, your bottom and your legs and your feet. It all starts around the teeth and the jaw and the neck. And if you can relax there, the rest of the body will go. And then let's bring it back to centre. And just before we sit ourselves up, let's take a happy baby. So holding on to the outside of the feet or the shins, or the backs of the thighs, bringing the feet together, widening out the knees, and then in your own time, opening your feet like a book. Relax your shoulders. Let your bellies go. Let's just enjoy the stretch before we get to work a little. A nice gentle stretch. And maybe hooking the toes with the first 2 fingers. Don't worry if you can't get there and you're holding onto the thighs, wherever you are. If you want to hook the toes but can't reach, you can always bend your feet in a little. And then we can bring the feet over our heads and rock ourselves up to a seated happy baby. See how that feels. Hips are wide, feet in line with the knees, chest is lifted, shoulders away from the ears, seated happy baby. And maybe we can let go and keep hold of our seated happy baby. So I'm trying to bring my knees towards the outside of my upper arms, keeping the feet in line. Breathe. And release. Okay, let's roll it over and come into our cat-cow. So just start flowing through your normal cat-cow. So you can have your toes touch, you can have them flat, whatever feels good on your lower back. Wherever you are, try and keep the arms strongish. You can walk the hands forward if your shoulders or your wrists are sore, and as you push into the heel of the hand, round the upper back and drop the head. You can inhale or exhale, whatever feels good for you. And then gently lifting your tail, bringing the ears away from the shoulders. You can hold here and take a few breaths, or you can just take one breath and carry on moving through your cat-cow. Just listen to your body. Maybe you want to hold it, maybe you want to flow with it. We're going to warm our shoulders up just a little. So next time you round your back and drop your head, take your knees a little wider, bring your feet together and just come back into a child's pose. Take a big shoulder stretch, come onto your fingertips. You can pop a cushion onto your head if you need. Just take a couple of big breaths here. Hopefully the hips feel okay here after a little tiny bit of hip work we did at the beginning. Okay, leaving the hands where they are. Bring your knees in just a little. We've done this a couple of times, I think, this week. So all we're going to do is come onto our hands and knees. We're not going to move our hands, and we're going to keep coming forward into that chaturanga. Then we're going to push back up and push back into child's pose. So we're not moving our hands. We are just flowing forward, keeping the elbows in tight and the back rounded if you can as you drop into that little chaturanga. And then back. If it's too much, you just take the tiniest little bend, and whatever you do, don't come all the way down and shred your shoulders. It's better to take a smaller one than go too far. Just do a couple more of these, warming up the shoulders. And then tuck in your toes. Let's lift up into that downward dog. Keep the legs really bent to start with. So feel the arms pushing the heel of the hands in strongly, and then feel the rest of the palm. Then feel all the way to the ends of each finger, really pushing down. Nice, solid, straight, strong arms. Rolling the elbows towards each other. And then maybe you can start to straighten your left leg back. Get that nice calf stretch. And then bend the left leg, maybe straighten the right leg. And then walk in your dog, straightening each one individually, or as straight as is good for you. And then send those heels back. Let your chest melt down towards your thighs. Keep your elbows coming towards each other, rather than rolling out to the side. And then drop your knees and come to seated. Okay, I hope we're all okay. Nice and warm now anyway. So we're just going to do a little bit of breath of fire, And then we are going to try just a little bit more core work and tricep work before we come into our flow. Probably taking a bit too long, but never mind. So breath of fire. It's where we pump the belly. So hopefully you can see this on camera. We take the half breath in and it's all in the belly. So as we breathe in, the belly inflates and gets big and round and lovely. And then as you exhale, you force the air out and pull the belly in. Then as you inhale, you inflate the belly. And as you exhale, you force the air out and then pull the belly in. So you can do this in your own time. I can't ever do it now without thinking of choo-choo train, which is apparently what I sound like. So you can do it slowly or you can do it quickly. I'll count you in, but if you want to get going, you can get going. If it makes you dizzy, please stop. If you have unmedicated high blood pressure or you think you might be pregnant, then please don't do it. Just breathe normally, do some deep breathing. So if you want to join in, half a breath in and then out. If you lose it, just take that half breath in, fill the belly, and then force the air out, bring the belly in. It can help sometimes to put your hands on your belly as well. Keep the chest lifted, keep the spine long. And when you finish, just breathe normally. Notice how you feel. It may feel like all the energy has come up to your head. It's quite normal if it does. Just let the breath get back to normal. Let it settle down. And that's a breath of fire. So it will have fired us up just that little bit. And we're going to come into our tricep lifts now. So if you find that when you push into the floor with your hands, if you struggle to get the bum lifted off the floor, that's where you've hopefully got some cushions around you and you can start to prop your hands on something higher. So we're going to try and lift our bums off the floor by pushing our hands down. Be careful with your wrists here. It can help to have the cushion next to you and then just pivot the hand off the edge of the cushion, and that can help with the wrists. Okay, so when you're ready, see how it feels to pull the tummy up and under those ribs. That's going to help you lift right up and under. Maybe lean forward a little, and then as I lift and push down into my hands, my bum goes back a little, my chest goes forward a little, and you can hold here and just do some nice deep breathing, or you can keep pulling the tummy in, keep pushing into the hand, and maybe, I can't talk and do it, you can lift your feet off the floor. So take it at your own pace, or you can maybe lift and just lift one foot off the floor and then practice, and then maybe change the cross on the legs. So we're just having a little play. Our shoulders should be nice and warm from doing the chaturangas and the downward dog. So just have a little play, another couple of goes. But it's so important that you lift the belly up and under the ribs and you try and round the shoulders, get them away from the ears as well. So I'm pushing down so firmly and then swinging the legs up if you want to try that, or just lifting one foot. Big breaths. Don't forget to breathe. And have a rest. And if the wrists are sore, not sore but a little bit achy, you can bring the backs of the hands together and then push down. Keep the chest lifted, keep that breath going, don't lean forward. Keep that nice open channel. Whatever you need to do. Okay, let's come back over. And then let's take our downward dog. At any point you can take a rest, it's your practice. Take as many rests as you need. We're going to start flowing. So let's walk our feet to the top of the mat. And before we start flowing, let's stretch our backs out with a nice dangle.
Hold on to the opposite elbows. Bend the knees to start with. And really feel the ribs on the thighs or wherever you can. Let the head be really heavy. Bring the weight slightly into the toes. Big breaths. Maybe release the fingertips to the floor. And then maybe you can start to straighten the legs just a little. Don't lock your knees. Coming into a bit of a forward fold. Maybe you can take your chest lift now. Don't overuse your neck. So I'm lifting the bum right up to the ceiling. Weight is in the toes, like my heels are about to lift off the floor, but they're not. Sending the thighs to the back of the room. And then take your forward fold. Push into the feet, take a big reverse swan dive, coming all the way up. Big stretch, and bring the hands to the chest. Okay, hopefully we're feeling okay. We are going to take our first round of sun salutations, and they're just normal version A sun salutations. And then we're going to add on. So let's see how the first round feels today. You don't have to jump, you don't have to keep the knees off the floor, just do whatever feels good for you. As we lift the arms up, take a big stretch, and then you can swan dive down if you wish. Let the head go. Lift the chest, lift the bum, and take your plank. Take an inhale, and take your chaturanga. You can drop your knees for the first one or not, but remember, let's not drop lower, the shoulders lower than the elbows. Then dropping your bum, and lifting the chest, back bend, and take your downward dog. 3 breaths here. Fill the belly, keep rolling the elbows towards each other to keep that upper back nice and spread. And then let's bend the knees, sit the bum back, gazes forward. And let's come to the front of the mat with steps, hops or jumps, let the head go. Lift the chest, lift the bum. And deeper forward fold. Come all the way up. And hands to the heart. Lifting up. And then coming down. Lift the chest, lift the bum. This time straight into plank chaturanga. One exhale if you're using your breath. Rising up into whatever back bend feels good for you. And then taking your downward dog. Lifting your right leg into the air. And then bring the right knee to the right hand. And then lifting the right leg back up. Knee to nose. Shoulders come over the wrists. Push back into your down dog. And shoulders over wrists, knee to nose. And then lift up. Drop your right foot to the floor now. Bring the weight forward into a plank. Lift your right foot off the floor, and if you wish, you can swivel straight over into a side plank with the right leg off, or you can drop it down, or you can drop your knee, wherever feels good for you. Bring it back round into a plank, push back into your downward dog. Come back forward into your plank, chaturanga. Back bend, downward dog. I'm going to try that on the other side. Lift the left leg into the air, knee to nose. Lifting the left leg up, knee to nose. Left leg up, knee to nose. Left leg up, and downward dog. Come forward into your plank. Lifting the left leg if you wish, and then coming into that side plank. I've dropped my right foot, but you can, right knee, but you can stay in your full side plank if you wish. Bringing it back round into your plank, pushing back, downward dog. 2 more breaths. Please drop the knees if you need. And sit the bum back, gazes forward. Bring yourselves to the top of your mat, let your head go. Lift the chest, lift the bum. And deeper forward fold as you melt over your thighs. Big swan dive up. And hands to the heart. Hope you're feeling okay after that. These are not good yoga leggings as I'm discovering today. Let's rise up. And forward fold. Lift the chest, lift the bum. Plank chaturanga. Up dog or any back bend that feels good. And down dog. Lifting the right foot into the air. Stepping the right foot to the right hand. Stay on the toes of the left foot as you rise up. High lunge. Of course, you can drop your left knee if you need. And then we're going to come onto the heel of the back foot as we take warrior 2. And that practice that we did on Monday where we rolled onto the outer edge of the back foot, we pushed the feet down and then we dragged them towards each other to work those adductors on the inner thighs. You can do that now. And then come back onto the toes of the back foot. Rise up into your high lunge. Okay, you might want to watch this first. So we're going to move through this 3 times. We're going to take the weight into the right foot, lift the left knee up, and then step back, high lunge. Joining in when you're ready. Carefully, she says, lifting the left knee, and then gently stepping back, high lunge. 2 more. Use your core muscles to keep you balanced. Of course, you can drop the arms down if you need. Last one. Rising up and gently taking your high lunge. Now we're going to move on. So just watch for a minute. We're going to come back into knee up and transfer between knee and warrior 3. And knee to warrior 3. So when you're ready, from your high lunge, lift your left knee into your chest. You can drop the hands, it will make it easier. Tummy's in tight. And then warrior 3. And then knee in. And taking that T shape. Kicking the heel back. And knee in. And kicking the heel back. And knee in, hold. You can have a little rest in your arms if you need. Just watching where we're going. So this time we're going to transfer between warrior 3 and standing splits. And this is the hard bit, getting back off the floor. Warrior 3 and standing splits. So from your knee up, taking your warrior 3. Trying to keep the body as straight as you can and the leg as well. Dropping the hands down, dropping the head and lifting that left leg a little higher. Careful now, tummy's in tight. As you lift the chest away into warrior 3 and then drop down standing splits. Careful as you lift up, warrior 3 and standing splits. 1 more. Lifting the chest away from the thigh, arms forward, and standing splits. Okie dokie, and from here, stepping that left leg back, coming back into your high lunge. How nice does high lunge feel now? And bringing the hands down, step back into your downward dog. Take a wiggle. a child's pose if you need. We're going to do that on the other side. But first we have to vinyasa. I told you this was a fire session today. So plank, where you can stay in child's pose and rest. Chaturanga. Up dog or any back bend. And down dog. You don't have to do all of this. You take as many breaks as you need. It's as hard as you want it to be. Lifting the left leg into the air. Step the left foot to the left hand. Rise up. High lunge. If your shoulders have had enough, please just bring them into your chest. Breathe. Relax the shoulders away from the ear. Tuck the bum under. And then taking that back heel down, open the arms out. Warrior two. Relax the shoulders. Keep the front knee tracking towards the little toes. Roll onto the outer edge of the back foot. Push your feet down. Drag them towards each other. Feel those inner thighs contracting. Big breaths. Okay, high lunge, spin onto the toes of the back foot. And let's get ready to transfer between high lunge and right knee in the air. So when you're ready, take it slow, tummy's in tight. Two more. One more. If we go too fast, then we lose our balance. And then we're going to transfer between our knee in and warrior three. So when you're ready, bringing that knee into the chest and then kicking it back to make that T-shape, gazes down. Bring the hands into the chest if you need. Knee in and T-shape. And knee in and T-shape. Well done. Bring the knee in, have a minute. And now we're going to transfer between our T-shape, warrior three, and standing splits. So when you're ready, warrior three, drop the hands and lift the foot. And let the head melt down. This is the hard bit as you pull your tummy in and lift the chest away from the body. One side's much harder than the other. Handstanding splits. And warrior three. Handstanding splits. You please use the wall if you need to. And whoa, I think I need to use the wall for this one. Warrior three. And then standing splits. Step back, high lunge. Tucking the bum under, relax the shoulders, breathe. Bring the hands down, step back, downward dog, wiggle it out. Two more breaths here. Please take a break if you need one. And bend the knees if you wish to finish the vinyasa. Gazes forward and step, hop or jump to the top of your mat. Let your head go. Rising up. And hands to the heart. Okay, I think we have, well, we've got two more rounds, two more sequences. We'll see whether we've got time to do them both or not. Please rest if you need. Rising up when you're ready. And forward fold. Lift the chest, lift the bum. And then plank chaturanga. Come into any back bend. And then take your downward dog. Lifting your right leg into the air. Step your right foot to your right hand. Left heel down. We're taking warrior one. 45-degree angle on the back foot. And just breathe, relax the shoulders. Okay, we're going to spin the feet so they both face the long edge of the mat. And we're going to sit down in our goddess. And just have a look where we're going to go with this. Obviously, if this is ever too much, you can bring your hands down or take them onto your thighs. But all we're going to do from a goddess is drop the right elbow onto the right knee and then start to straighten the left leg without overshooting the right knee over and take a side bend. And then come back into our goddess. And then straightening through that left leg, side bend, and come back into our goddess. Last one. Coming over, and then goddess. And then we are going to come back round into our warrior one. And bring the hands down into the chest. You're going to have to turn the back foot to face forward just a little more if you wish. Just watch the back knee. And we're going to take a fold over our front leg. So from here, the hands can be at the chest. You can hold on to your elbows behind your back. You can join your palms and have the fingers pointing down. Or you can join your palms and have your fingers pointing up. And then maybe you can straighten your front leg if it doesn't cause you any issues in your lower back. I'm going to have both of my feet facing forward and both of them in a straight line, one behind the other, but that does affect your balance. You don't have to be there. Lift the chest away from your belly. Lead with your chest as you fold from your groin. Keep the chest as lifted as you can for as long as you can. Please bend that front knee if you need and check that the weight is going backwards as much as it's going forwards. Send your right hip back and bring your left hip forward. And once you've gone as far as you can release your hands and start to round your back into that forward fold. Send the back heel back, really strong through that back leg as much as through that front foot. And then let's bend into that front foot and bring our hands to the inside of that front foot. So the right foot goes over to the right and both hands are on the mat. You may want to step your back foot back a little and place the heel down. We're going to come into a bind. So you can stay here. If that's too much, you can just stay with your elbow on your thigh. Or you're going to drop your right shoulder down, take your right hand between your legs I'm going to turn around so you can see what I'm doing. So that you're just bringing that right hand just above the thigh. And then maybe your left arm will come up and over and take the bind. Or you can be on your clothing, you can be here, you can be on your thigh. Wherever you are, just make sure you're opening your chest out as you take that bind. Or not. Wherever feels good for you. And then wherever you are, releasing your hands down again. Toes are pointing forward roughly, the front foot's facing forward, the back foot may be on that 45-degree angle. You may want a shorter stance here. We're going to take a twisted triangle. So the right foot is forward, so it's the left hand that's going to come onto some cushions or onto a block. Or maybe it can just go onto the floor next to the front foot. And then your right arm can come onto your waist or it can lift up. And maybe the front leg will straighten, maybe it won't, wherever you want to be today. You can just be here with your hand on your waist and your left hand on cushions. You really take it as far as you wish. If you want the advancement, your left hand will come all the way over to the right, across the right foot. Breathe. And then we're going to take our twisted half moon from here. So taking our left hand further forward as we lift that left leg up. Ooh, in a twisted half moon. Please use the wall if you need. And breathe. And then release it down. You can bring the elbows onto the thighs, and then when you're ready, take your downward dog and wiggle it through. Have a rest if you need, or if you want the fire, take your vinyasa, plank, chaturanga, up dog, and down dog. Couple more breaths resting if you're resting, or holding your down dog, whatever feels good for you. And then let's lift that left leg into the air. Let's step the left foot forward, right heel down as we rise up into our goddess. Goddess. Warrior one. You knew what I meant, didn't you? Don't know what I was thinking then. So let's have a little bend in that front knee, really rolling onto the heel on the outer edge of the back foot. Shoulders relaxed, chest lifted, bum tucking under. And now you can drop your hands if you wish and roll yourselves to the long edge of your mat. Ready for goddess. Turning the toes out and sinking down. Hands can be obviously in prayer pose at the chest. You can have your thighs and your elbows connected, whatever feels good for you. And this time we're going to work through our side bends as we drop the left arm down this time and really lift and straighten through that right side. So my knee isn't overshooting that left foot. Hands sink down, goddess. And then straighten through that right leg. Just a nice gentle side bend. One more. And coming down. And turning that back foot. So we come back into that warrior one position, really grounding through that back heel, back leg nice and straight, front leg a nice little bend. And bringing the hands down. Getting ready for the forward fold over that left knee. So hand position, you can hold the elbows, palms together, hands down, palms together, hands up. And then turning that back foot in a little more if that's where you want to be. But listen to your knees and your hips. Chest away from the belly lifted. Shoulders back and down. And then you straighten the front leg only if your hamstrings, your hips, your lower back is okay with that. Leading with your chest. Bending from the crease of the groin where the leg meets the body. Keep the chest lifted. You may not be able to go very far with the chest lifted. Push through that back foot strongly. Send your left hip over to the left and bring your right hip forward. Squeeze the inner thighs together. And then when you've gone as far as you can, release your hands and melt yourselves over that thigh. Use cushions under your hands if you need. Please breathe. I cannot believe the time. Could go on all night. Okay, from here, let's slowly bend through that front leg. Bring the hands to the inside of the left foot as you walk the left foot over to the left. Dropping the left elbow down. If it's going to be too much to do that, you can bring your forearm onto your thigh and open your chest up this way. Otherwise, you're going to take the bind as you drop the left elbow, bring the left hand under, and the right hand over the top, or holding onto the clothing if you need. Open your right shoulder to the ceiling. Push back strongly into your back foot as well as into the front. Breathe. Big shoulder stretch here. And releasing it down. Okie dokie. Let's come into our twisted triangle now on this side. So bringing your right hand onto a block or onto the floor if you can, it's up to you. And then slowly lifting that left arm into the air. So you bring that right hand as high as you need. Of course you can keep your hand on your waist, or if you want a little more you can bring your right hand all the way over to the left side of the left foot. Breathe, send the weight backwards as much as you can. And then maybe that right hand can come forward a little as you lift your right leg into your revolved half moon. Nearly there now. Well, we are there because we're run out of time. Ooh, balance. And bring it down. Step back into a downward dog just to wiggle it through. Do whatever feels good. Let's finish our vinyasa by bending our knees, sit the bum back, gazes forward, and come to the top of your mat, drop your head. Lift the chest, lift the bum, big inhale, and let it go. Rise up, and hands to the heart, keep it coming down, bring yourselves onto your mat. I had a whole other sequence there for you all. I bet you're absolutely gutted that we haven't got time to do that. I don't know what I was thinking when I was doing this at home this afternoon. Let's lay down on our backs. Okay, let's cross your right ankle over your left knee and let's just stretch out through those hips. You can leave your left foot on the floor, or you can take hold of that left hamstring, or you can take hold of the left shin. Wherever you are, please relax your shoulders. You can flex your toes to keep your knees and ankles nice and safe if they're a bit wobbly. Use your exhale to start relaxing through the body. We're only looking for a little stretch in that right hip and the right butt cheek at the moment. And then let's swap it over. Either holding onto the back of the thigh or the shin, flexing the toes if you wish. Flexing the toes just really isolates what you're trying to stretch, because it's not allowing your knees and your ankles to move about and take some of that strain. It's bringing it right deep into the muscle when you flex your toes, but relax your shoulders. Maybe that'll feel quite nice after the work we've just done. I'm sorry that we haven't had time to stretch out a little bit more. I'm just conscious I want you to have a minute to relax. Just before we do, just take the feet wide and let the knees fall in together. If you want, you can take that stretch we did at the beginning where we crossed our legs completely over and then pulled our knees in. Whatever you need to do for those hips. And laying yourselves down, let's get some space in the body. So we have hit those legs this week, but I did introduce a little bit of that fire today in the manipura, the solar plexus, the bright yellowy orange fire in the centre of the belly with our twists and the work we did. Just noticing how you feel as you start letting the body relax across the forehead, the eyes, the cheeks, the teeth, the jaw. Let the shoulders go, let the neck do whatever it needs. And as you exhale, feel how heavy the upper back is. Use
used our arms a fair bit too. So really, after that work, notice the leg weights of the arms as they sink into the floor. Try and let your bum relax a little more. Let all of those ligaments across the hips soften. The big leg muscles just letting go, becoming heavier. Taking a really big inhale and let it go. Let's do another one. Big inhale, fill the belly. And take in a big stretch. And maybe extend through the right arm and the right foot, and then the left arm and the left foot. Stretching it out. And gently bringing one knee in, and then the other. Maybe bringing the head to the knees and making yourself as small as you can, stretching the back out and rolling over onto your right side. Now we fired up our lovely Manipura, solar plexus chakra. It's a good time to think about anything that needs finishing or even starting. Use the fire in your belly. The willpower, the drive, whatever it is you need that oomph to do. And gently bring yourself up to seated. I'm sorry that I've run over by a couple of minutes. Not that it matters because you could have stopped me ages ago. Bring the hands into the chest. Relax your shoulders. Get that space at the front of the body and just take a lovely deep breath. Bowing your heads, bringing your thumbs to your forehead. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Have a wonderful rest of the week and weekend. If you have any suggestions for next week, please let me know. Namaste. I hope everybody feels okay. That ended up being tough again, and I ran out of time, but hopefully it gives your fire centre a little bit of a boost if that's what you needed. And I will see you next week. As I say, any suggestions for any themes or anything you'd like to work, please let me know. Have a good weekend.